Do something a little unsettling with me for a second. Open a search engine and type in your own full name in quotes, maybe with your town next to it. For most people, somewhere on that first page or two is a site with a profile that already knows you. Your age, your home address, your phone number, the names of your relatives, maybe every place you've ever lived. You never signed up for it. You never gave them permission. And yet there it is, neatly listed, often for sale to anyone willing to pay a couple of dollars. The companies behind this are called data brokers, and quietly, in the background, they've built a file on nearly every adult. The good news is that you are not stuck with it. You have a real practical right to get a lot of this removed, and in the next few minutes I'll show you exactly how, both the free way with your own two hands and the paid way that does it for you. No fear-mongering, no magic promises, just what data brokers are, why this actually matters for your safety, and a clear plan to take your information back. Let's get into it. First, let's understand who we're dealing with, because data broker sounds vague until you see how it works. A data broker is a company whose entire business is collecting information about you, packaging it into a profile, and selling access to it. Where do they get it? Mostly from places that are perfectly legal. Public records, property deeds, voter rolls, court filings, marriage records are a gold mine, and a lot of it is open by law. Then there's everything you hand over without thinking. The apps on your phone quietly sharing your location and habits, the loyalty card at the supermarket trading discounts for your shopping history, the forms you fill in, the things you post publicly. On top of that, brokers buy and trade data with each other, and they enrich your profile with information leaked in old breaches. Stitch it all together, and you get a single, surprisingly detailed picture of your life. Now, it helps to split these companies into two groups. The first kind you can actually see, people search sites with names like White Pages, Spokeo, or Been Verified, where anyone can type your name and pull up your profile. The second kind works behind the scenes. Large background data brokers, companies like Axiom or Epsilon that you'll never visit but that fuel marketing, scoring, and more. The visible ones are where you'll do most of your hands-on cleanup. The invisible ones are why a removal service exists. Keep both in mind. Now you might be thinking, so what? My address isn't a secret and I've got nothing to hide. Fair. But this isn't really about secrecy, it's about safety, and the harms are very concrete. Start with the everyday annoyance. Those profiles are exactly how your number ends up flooded with spam texts and robocalls, and your mailbox with junk. Worse, they make scams against you far more convincing. Think back to the phishing and impersonation videos. A scammer who can open with your real full name, your street, and the name of your daughter sounds instantly legitimate, and that's precisely the information these sites hand out. Then there's the sharper edge, doxing and stalking. If someone decides to target you, an angry stranger online, an ex, anyone, a people search site hands them your home address in seconds. For people escaping abuse, that's not theoretical. It's dangerous. This data is also raw fuel for identity theft. The more of your details are floating around, the easier it is to impersonate you to a bank or a phone company. And here's the one that gets people to finally act. These profiles list your relatives. That's how scammers find and target elderly parents by name, with the grandparent scam and others we've covered. So removing your information isn't paranoia. It's cutting off the raw material that spam, scams, stalking, and fraud all depend on. That's worth a weekend afternoon. So let's get practical, starting with the free way, doing it yourself. Here's the core idea. By law, in many places, these people search sites have to let you opt out, and most of them have a removal page for exactly that. The process looks the same almost everywhere. Step 1, find yourself. Go to the big people search sites and search your name to see which ones list you and copy the link to your specific profile. Step 2, find that site's opt-out or removal page. It's usually in the footer or under privacy, sometimes a little buried on purpose. Paste in your profile and submit the request. Step 3, confirm. Most will email you a link to click or occasionally ask you to verify some other way. Finish that and the listing comes down, usually within a few days. Do that across the main sites, and you've removed a real chunk of your exposure for nothing but your time. Now, the honest catch, and I won't sugarcoat it, this is tedious. It's one site at a time, and this is the important part. They often relist you later when fresh public data flows back in. So this isn't a one and done. It's maintenance, something to redo every several months. For a lot of people, that's completely fine, and it costs $0. But it's exactly this relisting problem that the paid option is built to solve. So here's the second path: a data removal service. These are companies you pay to do the whole grind for you continuously. You give them your details once, and they scan hundreds of data brokers, file the opt-out requests on your behalf, and, crucially, keep rechecking and re-removing as you get relisted, month after month. You've probably seen them advertised. Names like Incogni, Delete Me, and Aura play in this space. Let me be straight about the trade-off, because this is where honesty matters more than a recommendation. The freeway costs you time but no money. A service costs a recurring fee but almost no time, and it reaches far more brokers than you'd ever chase by hand, including some of those invisible background ones. What a service is not, though, is a magic erase button. No company can guarantee you're gone everywhere forever. Some brokers ignore requests, some fall outside the rules, and new data keeps being generated. So if you choose to pay for one, pick it on real criteria, not the slickest ad. How many brokers does it actually cover? Is it transparent about what it removes and shows you reports? And does it have a solid track record? I'm not here to sell you a specific one. The point is simply this: if the manual grind feels overwhelming or you just value your time, a reputable removal service is a legitimate shortcut. Just go in with clear eyes about what it can and can't do. So whichever path you pick, here's how to actually start, and just as importantly, how to stay off these lists. First, do the highest impact opt-outs now. Hit the handful of biggest people search sites this week, because those are the ones friends, scammers, and strangers are most likely to find. Second, slow down the refill at the source. A huge amount of this data comes from your phone, so go into your settings and cut off apps that don't need your location and contacts. Tie this back to the privacy habits we've built. Third, share a little less and use throwaways. A separate email address for signups and loyalty programs keeps your main identity out of the data trade, and think twice before posting your location or details publicly. Fourth, opt out of data sharing wherever it's offered. Your bank, your phone carrier, and many services have a privacy setting to limit selling or sharing your information. It's worth 10 minutes to find and switch off. Fifth, set yourself a reminder to recheck in a few months because of that relisting problem, or let a service carry that load if you'd rather not. None of this has to happen in one night. Do the big opt-outs now, tighten the taps so less flows back, and revisit it on a schedule. That's how you shrink your footprint and keep it small. So here's the whole thing in one breath. Data brokers quietly build and sell a profile of you: your address, phone, age, and relatives, using public records, your apps, and data they trade and buy. It matters because that profile is the fuel for spam, robocalls, sharper scams, doxing and stalking, identity theft, and fraud aimed at your relatives. You have two real ways to fight back. The free way: search yourself, use each people search site's opt-out page, and confirm by email. It works, but it's tedious and they relist you, so it's recurring maintenance. The paid way: a removal service scans hundreds of brokers and keeps removing you automatically. It saves time for a recurring fee, but it's not a magic erase. So choose one on coverage, transparency, and track record. Then stay off the lists. Do the big opt-outs now, lock down your app permissions, use a separate email, opt out of data sharing, and recheck on a schedule. So the bottom line: you didn't agree to be listed and sold, and you don't have to accept it. So you can't vanish completely. Nobody honest will promise that. But you can dramatically shrink how much of your life is out there for a couple of dollars, and that quietly makes you a harder target for almost everything we talk about on this channel. So this week, just start. Search your own name and take down the first few profiles you find. If this gave you a clear, calm plan instead of a panic, consider subscribing. That's exactly what this channel is for. The digital world explained in plain English, so you and the people you love can stay a step ahead. And send this to someone who'd be unsettled to see their home address for sale online because they probably don't know they can take it down. Stay sharp out there.